Hi, beautiful wives. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kofa Akib. I am a life and marriage coach. So today I want to talk about how to respect your husband. So I know some of the wives in my community have identified disrespect as one of the main issue in their marriage. Like the man is feeling emasculated and they just don't know what to do or how to make him feel respected. Or maybe you are just newly married and everything is fine, okay in your marriage, and you want to keep it that way. So I'm going to share 5 tips with you on how to respect your husband. So some of the things might be things to avoid in order not to disrespect him, or what to do in order to make him feel respected. So my number 1 tip is forgiveness. And the reason why I'm sharing this first is because there's no respect without forgiveness, or rather, let me put it this way. Respecting a man, submitting to a man is really difficult when you're feeling resentful. Maybe when you are hurt and there's so much angst and there's so much pain in your heart, you are really prone to snap at him, or to not want to do what he wants or carry out his wishes, or just react to him in a way that feels disrespected. So if you are struggling with respecting your husband right now, I want you to just quickly check your heart. Are there any form of resentment? Dear adult wife, you need to deal with that issue that is causing you so much resentment. You need to find a way to forgive that. Maybe you need to have a conversation with him about the issue so you can let go of it, or you may just let go of it. Just maybe it's a long time in the past and you just feel like there is no reason bringing it up again. And if it is an issue that is really hard for you to forgive, to let go, so what I want to tell you is to have a willingness to forgive. Sometimes we can't get to that forgiveness place, but you can start with willingness to do so. So I want you to just declare your willingness to God and just say, dear God, this hurt so badly, but I'm willing to let go of it. I don't know how to do it, but I'm telling you, I want to do it. I want to let go of this. I want to forgive him. Show me the way. Just declare your willingness to God and let God take it over from there. So number 2 is, don't highlight every of his mistakes. As human beings, we are prone to mistakes. We all make mistakes a lot of time. We are all flawed. Try not to capitalize and always fish out and highlight your husband's mistakes. Maybe he made a financial decision that went wrong, or he spoke to someone that wasn't good. Let go of it. Give him the benefit of the doubt that is a responsible adult that knows how to learn from his mistakes. And I'm not saying you don't have that. There won't be time where you have 1 or 2 things to say, in terms of how things could be better with your husband. But what I'm talking about is when you have an habit of always highlighting his mistakes. Like, nothing can pass you by. Like, if you see something, you have to mention it. If you see somewhere it has gone wrong, you just have to mention it. Like, if you have not mentioned it, you're not okay. And maybe and it's gotten to a stage where when he makes mistake, he's kind of expecting you to say it because he knows that you won't have peace until you have said it. That's what I'm talking about. Avoid being that woman that always sees her husband's mistake. Maybe he spoke to someone in a way he shouldn't have, and then you are correcting him. Oh, you should have done it this way, you should have done it that way. Or maybe inconsistent in what he's saying. Maybe he said, I met this person 2 days ago, and then another time he's saying, oh, I met this person yesterday, and then you're saying, oh, but you said you met this person 2 days ago. You are lying, always lie, you're a liar, this, that, and then you just capitalize on the mistake. Or maybe he told you something, he did something wrong, and he told you about it, and then a few days later or a few months later, you are using it against him, back against him, like, don't do that again, don't do that thing you did the other time again, and you are just like flinging it on his face. So try to avoid capitalizing on your husband's mistake, because the danger in that is that you are invariably telling him that I don't think you are a man that I can respect. Because if you are always seeing his mistakes, so that means he's not deserving of your respect. He's not deserving of leading you, because it's this man that's full of errors and doesn't do the right thing all the time. It doesn't just feel good when there's someone who always sees where we are wrong, I could remember there was a time while I was in a paid employment, and I had this boss that has an habit of always fishing out your mistake. He can't let it pass. If he sees something, even if you have corrected it, he has to mention it. He has to let you know that you have done something wrong. And we are not in a marriage situation, but I don't feel good talking to him. I don't feel good around him. I don't feel good relating with him, just because of that attitude of always fishing out mistakes. And I had to bring in this example to show you that it's not just in a marriage situation, it's generally not just very palatable. So the third tip is avoid indirect insults. Sometimes women have an attitude of insulting their husbands indirectly. They will do as if they are talking to someone else, maybe like their son, like, I'm training my son, I'm correcting my son, but indirectly I'm teaching him something I know my husband is doing wrong, so that he can listen and hear how to do it right from what I'm telling my son. That's just very messed up and very disrespectful. And it's even double disrespectful, because now a child is involved, and even the child may be wise enough that you are telling him that because his father messes up in that area, and then it's kind of like a double disrespect, if you ask me. So, and I understand you need to train your child and everything like that. Find a better opportunity to train your child, to tell him how to be a man and, all those things, but never use it as an insult, to your husband. Like, don't be a lazy boy, don't be a lazy, I can't allow you to be a lazy boy, because when you grow up, you will just be a lazy man and your wife will have to suffer. And you are saying this at the earshot of your husband, and that's just not good, and it's very disrespectful. Or maybe you are watching a movie and somebody does something and it's kind of related to what your husband used to do, and you are insulting the person in the movie, but you both know that you're actually referring to your husband. I really want you to avoid all those drama, messed up, twisted way of insulting your husband. So the third tip I want to share with you is about communication generally. How you talk to him, the choice of what you use, your tone of voice, your pitch, your attitude, your gesture. All of that matters in whether a man feels respected or disrespected, especially when you are angry or when you are arguing. I just really want you to be intentional about what you say and how you talk to your husband. Just try and keep insultive words out of your language while talking to your husband. Even when you are angry, you don't want to say things like, oh, no responsible man will ever do that. I'm so disappointed in you. I regret I married you. you know. So in that moment, in those moments of anger and pain and hurt, I want you to like even choose your words. Make your words, make sure you are not using words that are disrespectful to your husband. And sometimes when you are not using word, your attitude can be very disrespectful. Okay, you can choose not to answer him when he's talking to you, or ignore him, or make gestures and sighs that are disrespectful. You know, a wife was telling me one day that, you know, he was upset with his husband, and she was telling me that, and he was talking to me and telling me this and that, and you need to see the way I looked at him. I just shot him that look, and immediately he kept quiet. You know, now no what was used in that situation, but shotting him a dirty look was equally as disrespectful as saying ugly things. So there are a lot of quiet women who are not big talkers, and who are still amazed when they find out that their husband feels disrespected in the marriage. You know, they'll be like, oh, I'm very respectful, I don't know why he's feeling disrespected. But sometimes it's just about the attitude, the gesture, the tone of voice. So really watch that, really watch your communication, and communicate intentionally in a way that respects and honors your husband, even when you're angry, even when you're upset, even when you're out arguing and you are at loggerheads. There are always feminine, respectful ways to go about this, and without resulting into using insultive languages. So the next tip is about service. All right, serving your husband is very respectful to him. So how do you serve your husband? You know, I believe one of the superpower of a woman is in how they keep their home, how you keep your home, the structures that you put in place in your home, how you run things in your home, you know, how laundry is done, the house is kept clean, groceries are bought, how you make food, what time is the food ready. So if you are lax in how you keep your home, I feel like it's very disrespectful to a man, because the man is the head of the home. So if you don't know how to get dinner ready on time, that your husband has to wait for long hours, your kids have to wait hungry before food is ready, or your house is always disorganized and unkept, it's disrespectful. And you know, I know you may argue that you are equally busy, and I respect that a lot. You know, as an entrepreneur myself and a creative person, you know, I know what it means to be really busy. You know, I'm always creating courses, shooting videos in my group and all of that. So I understand all of that. But even though you are busy and working hard and you have a lot going, I still believe that it's your responsibility to see how you can make things run smoothly in your home. And you don't have to add more to your plate. You don't have to put I don't mean it that you have to overwork yourself and be under a lot of pressure, try and make money, try and keep home. I'm just saying that you have to be intentional and know what you need. Do you need to hire help? What kind of help do you need to hire? Do you need someone that lives in with you or comes and go? Do you need to hire a coach to help you with the meal planning and organization of your home and stuff like that? There are help available if you look for all these things. You know, like myself, I'm not very efficient with that, because naturally I'm a creative person. I just want to sit in front of my computer all day long. So sometimes I have a sister that is really good with tough stuff like that, organization, cooking, meal. So sometimes I invite her over to come and spend like a week with me and allow her take over. And she runs things, and I watch the way she runs things, and when she's gone, I kind of replicate that process. So whatever getting help looks like for you, just don't just don't conclude that, oh, I'm busy, I don't have time for all that. Just don't have the attitude of, oh, there's nothing I can do about that. Sometimes you may need to even enlist your kid, enlist your husband, and say, hey honey, can you do this for me? Can you get that on your way back home? Assign tasks to your kids so that you are not overwhelmed. The point is, whatever you need to do, you need to sit down and make a plan that works for you on how to ensure that you are keeping your home. You are being a good homemaker. Being a good homemaker and serving your husband, it's really respectful. And the last tip I want to share with you on how to respect your husband is about submitting to his authority. Okay, so submitting to his authority is about allowing your husband to lead, to make decisions, to take actions, okay? And this can be really difficult because a lot of times you may disagree with what he wants to do or the direction he wants to lead the family. So it's really respectful when you learn how to lean back and allow him to take leads. Okay, so even when you have contrary opinion, so you might share your contrary opinion, like I would prefer we do it this way. I want to suggest we do it this way. And sometimes your husband will accept your suggestion, but sometimes he wouldn't. So in the situation where he wouldn't accept your suggestions and he wants to do it his way, be able to allow him to lead you and be able to support him in the decision that he has made, and see how you can help him to make it work and not just wait around for him to fail so that you can tell him, I told you so. Be able to have the willingness to see how his idea can work even when you don't agree with him. There are so many ways to achieve an outcome, and sometimes you might be surprised that his way would actually work, and sometimes it won't work, and then he will learn how to trust your input, how to trust your opinion. But he wouldn't have been able to do that if you haven't have that submissive attitude. If you have been waiting around for it to fail, even when it fails, he still won't be able to come back to you and say, wife, you are right. So learn to, in order for you to be able to allow your husband to lead you, you will need to let go of perfectionism, needing things to go perfectly, needing things to work out the way you think it's right, and being able to allow your husband to make his mistake, and trusting him that he is intelligent and capable enough to learn from his mistake, correct himself, and to course correct and to lead your family to the promised land with you as his lieutenant. So you are his lieutenant, and just put yourself in that position of a lieutenant and supporting his leadership, advising him, and leaning back and allowing yourself to be led by him. So those are 5 tips I've shared with you, and I hope you really learn from it. And be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and drop a comment. I'd love to read from you. So there is more to share. There are more ways to make your husband feel supported, feel honored, and feel respected. So if you feel like you need to hear more, or if you want me to look at your particular situation and give you customized tips that works for your particular situation, so I have a 90-minute session where we sit down and look at things, and I'll tell you what to do. So if you feel like this, you can really benefit from this, you know how to reach me. Send me a message and request for the 90-minute session. And I'll see you next week for another interesting video. Have a blessed week.